Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. Now, the data is in and the housing market right now is absolutely red hot. Now, the good news is the Federal Reserve finally appears to be doing something about it and keeping us in a situation of tightening and elevated interest rates to where things are going to start making a difference. And today, you guys, we're going to dive into those things. Now, the really interesting thing here and the frustrating thing for me is I wish we would have been at the levels we're at right now as far as the 10-year and residential mortgage rates back before the spring home buying season began. Why we waited till after the spring home buying season to elevate the tightening and elevate the interest rates, you guys, I do not know, but it is what it is, and we are left with the housing market that is red hot, and I believe it's very quickly coming to an end. As it stands right now, we are back over 4% with the 10-year Treasury. The reason why it's important to understand the 10-year Treasury is because that tracks with 30-year fixed rate mortgages, and this is where we want to stay, you guys. We want to stay at 4% or higher. Now, as far as residential mortgage rates, as you guys can see here, we're sitting at 7.22% on average for people with great credit, probably a 20% down payment. So if you have any struggles right now, more than likely people are going to be high 7% or even in the 8%. This is where we want to stay. So frustrating that right before the spring home buying season, that's when the Federal Reserve just so happened to inject $400 billion of quantitative easing back into the lending sector. The job of the lenders is to lend money for us to spend money. Obviously, that created a situation where it really inflamed typical seasonal home buying. So we'll jump into the Redfin article, quickly see what they're saying. We'll go into some charts, visualize the data, and really talk about what's going on. And if you guys can, just understand I am not a financial advisor, and also understand I have to say this, and for me continuously having to say this, please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, shoot me a comment below, hit notifications, and share this video. But either way, guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. The name of this week's Redfin article is Housing Market Update. The average U.S. home is selling above its asking price for the first time in nearly a year. And like I said, you guys, are red hot. This is the first time since late August the average sale to list price ratio has surpassed 100%. Low inventory and steady demand are keeping home prices steady. The average sale to list price hit 100.1% during the 4 weeks ending July 2nd, marking the first time in nearly a year the average U.S. home price is selling for more than its asking price. Barely more, but on average, slightly more. Additionally, the median home sale price was down just $1,000 at a year-over-year decline of 0.3%. When prices were near record highs, stubbornly high home prices combined with 7% mortgage rates are standing in the way of home buyers who are forced with near record high monthly housing payments. Incredibly expensive, incredibly toxic housing market right now. A lack of homes for sale is the main reason homes are selling above their asking price, with new listings down 25% year over year, and the total number of homes for sale down 12% as homeowners hang on to relatively low mortgage rates, which is called the lock-in effect. Despite the double dilemma of low inventory and high prices, early stage home buying demand is picking up. Redfin's Home Buying Demand Index, a measure of requests for home tours and other home buying services from Redfin agents, is up 4% from a month earlier and near its highest level in over a year. Almost every home is getting multiple offers and selling over asking price. The lack of supply is making it feel almost like 2021 all over again. But higher rates mean bidding wars are happening more in the $500,000 range than the $700,000 range because people can afford less. I'm advising buyers to shop a little under their price range so that they can make a strong offer. So basically, Redfin and the Redfin agents are suggesting that if you're buying a house right now, you better go in aggressively and you better bid over asking price. And to me, you guys, that attitude is the wrong attitude to have. Instead of, again, using data to find the deal, not our emotions to make bids, they're saying it's a tough market. Bidding wars are back. You better buy now and you better go above asking price. And we know the fear of missing out is incredibly strong. So that narrative feeds that fear of missing out. Now, thank goodness, you guys, the Federal Reserve again and the market is putting us on timeout. Once again, we are near levels of tightening that we were at when the house price decline around October really started spiraling out of control. Again, 10-year over 4%, residential mortgage rates over 7%. This is where we need to stay. Now, what I'm asking myself is the Federal Reserve too late, right? The tightening that we have like the last few days, are they too late? I believe they may be too late as far as having year over year median sales price increase on a national average. We are right up against that wall right now. So they may be too late. We may go over year and then obviously whiplash downward. Let's go over the leading indicators now. This week's leading indicators, starting with mortgage rates. Now, the average mortgage rates when they put out this report was 7.08%. As of the writing was 7.14%, but as of this video, they are at 7.22%. They are going up because the Fed needs to do something about the red hot, quote unquote, red hot economy. But really what it is just a bunch of QE and a bunch of money still in our economy. Mortgage purchase applications rose 3% from a week earlier, but are still down 21% year over year. The seasonally adjusted Redfin home buying demand index is up 11% from a year earlier. Now, Google searches, people searching for housing for sale, is down 9% from a year earlier, and touring activity is up 6% from the start of the year. Now, although the median sales price is down year over year, it is up week over week. The median home sales price was $383,800, down just $1,000 from a year earlier. Now, we still have 22 of the top 50 metro areas with year over year decline. Leading the list is Austin at 9.8%, then Las Vegas at 7.6% year over year decline, followed by Detroit and Oakland, and surprisingly, Dallas Fort Worth at negative 5.7 year over year. When I did a report on Texas, I found that Dallas has actually more room to go down versus Austin, according to the data I was reviewing. So we'll see what happens there. Now, home prices increased the most in Milwaukee year over year at 11%, Providence, Rhode Island at 8%, Norwalk at 6.3%, Miami is now only number 4 at a 6.3% increase, followed by West Palm Beach at 5.5%. To me, that shows that Florida is softening. So the interesting thing is this, it appears we have stagflation, essentially meaning inflation is still high and our economy is slowing down. Now, the really interesting thing here is despite how great our economy is and how great everyone thinks things are going to turn out, there's still a massive yield curve inversion. And that is a huge warning sign, basically history telling us, you guys, be caution, wait to see what happens, prepare, because if you prepare right ahead of a recession, usually you can come out a pretty successful winner. So let's take a look at the 3-month inversion over the 10-year treasury. Now, what I want to point out is every single time the 3-month has inverted over the 10-year, it has led to a recession. We have a historical precedence for waiting. If we don't go into a recession, it will be the first time in history. And I want to point out that we are massively inverted. We're going back to 1980, unfortunately, only 1980. But I wanted to show you guys, in 1989, we had an inversion of the 3-month, boom, led to a recession. Same thing in the early 2000s, it inverted, led to a recession. Same thing in the great financial collapse, it inverted in 2006, led to a recession. Even in the little recession we had during COVID, it inverted and led to recession. And I want you guys to really appreciate the depth of inversion. Going back to 1980, we have never touched this depth of inversion for the 3-month versus 10-year. We have a massive warning sign. History calling out to us, you guys, be safe, be cautious. Recession, unemployment is coming. Probably also credit tightening. But I also want to point out this, before we went into recession, every single time it re-inverted, meaning the 10-year went above the 3-month, and then we went into recession. So again, going back to history, look, it went above. The black line is the inversion. Okay, so that black horizontal line represents the inversion. So the inversion reversed and it went above, and then recession. Same thing here. It went above and then immediate recession. Went above here and then recession. Went above here, immediate recession. So in other words, history tells us we need to reinvert before we even start the recession. Think about this for a second. Think about that for a second. All of the pain we're going through as consumers and the unaffordability, that may be just the tip of the iceberg. History is telling us things are going to get much worse. And if it's me, I don't want to go through these things when I'm shackled to an overpriced house I can't sell, I can't refinance, and I'm married to the mortgage payment. I'm not going to put myself in that situation. Let's visualize some of this data and go into the graphs. Okay, guys, starting with week over week median sales price. Now, I think the Fed is a little bit late here, but at least they're doing something because look at how long they waited. We are so close. Look at how close, literally knocking at the door of exceeding last year's year over year median sales price. Look at that, you guys. I've been basically saying from right now to the end of August, that's when at that sometime in between that time point is when we're going to be seeing that whiplash downward as far as median sales price. So good thing again, the Federal Reserve is doing what they're doing right now. Again, I wish they would have just kept us where we're at, but we're about to see the entire housing market flip upside down on its head once again. Back to the information. So we'll see how long it takes for the new effects to take place, but it's possible that what happens is it goes above year over year, people start freaking out, and then we have that whiplash downward. Now, again, I think we're going to end down here somewhere. If we end down here somewhere with median sales price, that means all of these people right here essentially have the same equity appreciation going back to about mid 2021, which means if you purchase after mid 2021 from an equity standpoint, you have basically been sideways this entire time. Now, median asking price is down week over week, but it is up year over year 1.1%, and that's not what we want to see. Now, if you notice here, it does appear to be trending downward, but we want to trend downward at a faster pace than that trend was last year. Now, we don't have enough data yet to say that it's going down, but it appears that it is, and we also know that median asking price has essentially been plateaued since about May. So it's been plateaued this entire time. Again, we hope to see that go down. It's probably going to go down because there has been massive amounts of tightening and massive amounts of changes in the market over the last week. Now, this is home buyer payments. Now, it was expensive to own real estate last year, but it's even more expensive to own real estate this year. In fact, on average, somehow 13% more expensive to own real estate this year. Average mortgage payment sitting at $2,622. The crazy thing, if we really think about it, guys, 2 years ago, we were down here. We were down at about $1,600. So mortgage payments over 2 years right now are $1,000 higher. Tell me that's grounded in fundamentals. That's not grounded in fundamentals. That is massively horrible for anyone that is purchasing real estate right now and getting a mortgage. Pending sales are down 14% year over year. It has a little bit of an uptick week over week. New home listings pretty much flat week over week as well, down 24.7% year over year. Active listings for sale down 12% year over year, pretty much plateaued since the end of April on that one. Now, months of supply, we saw this go up pretty sharply week over week for the first time in a long time. Now it's gone back down again to 2.6 months. How many times have I done these Redfin updates and we've been at 2.6 months? I mean, it's crazy. How are we still at 2.6 months? But we're back down to 2.6 months. We're still over where we were at the last 2 years. Just FYI. Pending sales under contract within 2 weeks is 32%. That's basically down over the last 2 years. 37% of homes sold above final listing price. So that's the bidding war stuff. And I just wanted to make a point. Yeah, there may still be bidding wars in some markets, but when we looked at this chart, we're way lower from a bidding war standpoint than we were in 2022 and in 2021. So while though I still hear comments, especially from you, Vital Signs, that there are bidding wars, at least it is way lower than it has been in the last 2 years. Still not good though, still not good. Now, this is a good set of data. This is listings that had price drops. We're at 5.6% of listings that had price drops, and we are basically exceeding the pace of last year. So this is one positive data set here, usually the first indicator of what's going to happen next, and that is keeping the trajectory of where we were at last year. We really haven't seen median sales price slow down yet. So really interesting stuff, but the market is lowering their prices because they have to do that on average in most markets. Still some markets incredibly hot, obviously. Now here's the bad news. The average home is now selling for 100.1% above the final list price, but I do want to make a point as well that's still way down than we were at the last 2 years of 2021 and in 2022, but it's still bad. It's still above 2020 levels, so we want to see that go down. Also, what we want to see go down is demand. And here's the thing, you guys, when I get excited about interest rates going up, I'm not excited that people are about to get hurt. I'm excited that the Federal Reserve is doing their job and properly resetting this housing market, because the reality is, at least in my opinion, the longer it takes for us to reset, the more people are going to get hurt in the long term. So the sooner the Federal Reserve does their job, the sooner we can be done with this, and the less the innocent people will get hurt. And that's why I get excited. But unfortunately, demand is still above, slightly above where it was in 2022 or last year, but it is under both 2021 and 2020. Pretty interesting. In conclusion, you guys, I don't think we should fight the Fed. And I will say, thank goodness the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, the market is doing something about the out of control housing market. One thing that I hope they remain doing, you guys, is no longer printing money. If they stop printing money, if they hold us where we're at right now, I think we're in store for an awfully bumpy ride moving forward into this year. So the question is going to be, what breaks next? Comment below if anything. Maybe you don't think anything is going to break. Maybe you do. But either way, you guys, let me know your thoughts. And other than that, have a great Friday night and a great weekend. And if you're out there investing in real estate, you know I wish you luck and I hope you win.